Good morning. Thank you very much for joining us here on Times Now. This is a newspaper show and I'm Hina Gambhir. Let's get started and tell you what's making headlines as far as the Times of India this morning is concerned. So this Saturday morning, the big story that's there on the front page is about gangster Vikas Dubey. The headline is caught alive, brought dead. He snatched gun, tried to flee after police SUV flipped. That's something that the Times of India today morning is leading with. A day after he appeared to have got himself arrested in Madhya Pradesh, gangster Vikas Dubey killed by UP cops following an accident escape attempt, triggering charges that it was all staged. That's what most of the political parties in Uttar Pradesh and other parts of the country also indicated. Exactly a week after killing 8 cops in a guerrilla-style ambush on a police team that had entered its lair to arrest him, UP gangster Vikas Dubey met his end on Friday in typical encounter fashion on a rain-drenched highway following a car accident that, according to the police, gave him the opportunity to snatch a gun from the SDF commando, open fire and run, only to be brought down with 3 shots to his chest and 1 in the arm. And that's the picture as well that you can see here from the visual that came out yesterday. The vehicle skidded and overturned after the driver swerved to avoid a herd of cattle, according to the UP police. But there are many coincidences as well that have been reported here on the front page in the analysis that is done, because his aide was also killed in exactly the same kind of circumstances. Coincidence number 1, the encounter took place barely 15 minutes after media cabs following the STF convoy were stopped, when there was no one apart from cops to recount really what had happened. Second, Dubey's aide Prabhat Mishra or Kartikeya was also killed after he snatched a weapon and tried to escape when a tire of the police vehicle got punctured barely 24 hours before Dubey's death. So these are the 2 coincidences that are now being questioned as well. Moving on now to some more details on this particular story. Slain cop's dad says that the secrets have also died along with Vikas Dubey. Dubey may have had 11 houses, 16 flats in Uttar Pradesh. The ED has now sought details of immovable and movable assets owned by Dubey, his family, as well as his close associates from Kanpur police. Dubey is believed to have as many as 11 houses and 16 flats brought under Benami deals in UP alone. This is what Rohan Dua has reported. Ex-top cops call for probe into the encounter. Friday's encounter has left former top cops across the country disappointed and fuming. They call the incident unfortunate, outrageous, untenable in a civilized society, and they have called for an inquiry into Dubey's death given the circumstances under which it really happened. So far, no official reaction from the government on this, but demand for a probe is something that is now coming. Apart from this, another big update is about India's COVID count, which has now almost crossed 8 lakh. India's COVID count tops 8 lakh. Deaths crossed 22,000. Record rise of 27,000 plus cases on Friday. And this is how cases have gone up. 6 to 8 lakh. 2 lakhs have increased in just 9 days. So there you can see in just 9 days, we've reached from 6 lakh to 8 lakh, and how the number of people who are recovering is increasing as well. 5,14,870 have already recovered. What's interesting is that the active cases are declining only in Delhi. Among the larger states in NCT, Delhi is the only one that has seen a decline in active COVID cases over the last 1 week. Then COVID positive woman can infect baby in her womb. That's another important story. Change in city home isolation norms likely. We'll get you more details on this one in just a bit. Industrial output data came out yesterday. It shrank 35%, but pace of its decline has now started slowing down. Ahead of military talks, India-China agree on total disengagement. The envoy in fact, Chinese ambassador has said that let's not fall into trap of conflict. ITI eyes Tech-M TCS tie-ups for 4G bid. CBI to probe illegal land tweak for mall, ordering a CBI probe into the illegal conversion of a portion of 19 acres meant for Gurgaon's Ambience Lagoon Island residential complex into a commercial complex. The Punjab and Haryana High Court Friday caution order through which the complex was delicensed for commercial purpose. Then pass percentage improves in CISE 10th as well as 12th exams. The Council for Indian School Certificate Examination declared the result of this year's ICSE and ISC examinations on Friday, and the board said ISC pass percentage was 96.8%, 0.3% more than last year. For ICSE PSE, the pass percentage stood at 99.3%, which is about 0.1% higher than 2019. Supreme Court has okayed summons via WhatsApp and email. In a first, the Supreme Court on Friday agreed in principle that serving notices and summons to people integral to judicial processes through instant messaging services like WhatsApp and Telegram in addition to emails would be legally valid. So that's something that is also there on the front page. Then a couple of more interesting stories. 4 Maoists are gunned down in a Bihar encounter. Delete TikTok. Amazon has told all its employees. 72 foreigners freed in Tablighi Jamaat case. AIIMS doctor jumps to death. A 25-year-old resident doctor with AIIMS allegedly committed suicide by jumping off the 10th floor of the hostel on Friday evening. The doctor was reportedly suffering from mental health issues and was undergoing counseling. NIA has said that Kerala racket is linked to terror. This is the gold smuggling case. Desi doctor does rare operation in the United States of America. This is the second such case that we have seen of this kind. Meerut-born surgeon in US, Dr. Ankit Bharat, who performed a double lung transplant on a COVID patient for the first time last month, has conducted another rare surgery on a coronavirus patient who was on life support for about 100 days. So this doctor from Meerut is making India proud. Before we move on, a quick look at what's making headlines here as well. PM Narendra Modi says India has emerged as the most attractive market for clean energy. Solar energy is sure, pure and secure. World COVID numbers currently stand at 12.3 million. 5,55,000 deaths have happened. An advanced team from WHO leaves for China to organize a probe into the origins of novel coronavirus that sparked pandemic. So that's about the Times of India this morning. Let's now move on and get you the latest as far as the Nav Bharat Times is concerned. और यहाँ पर पहली खबर जो है वो कोरोना वायरस से जुड़ी हुई है. कुल मरीज 8 लाख पार, मौतों की दर में आई है कमी. दिल्ली में कोरोना संक्रमण का रेट जो है 10% से नीचे हो गया है. सो दिल्ली में सिचुएशन थोड़ी इंप्रूव होती हुई नजर आ रही है. पाकिस्तान ने दागे गोले, जवान शहीद. पाकिस्तानी सेना ने जम्मू कश्मीर के राजौरी जिले में नियंत्रण रेखा के पास शुक्रवार को संघर्ष विराम का उल्लंघन किया, जिसमें भारतीय सेना का एक जवान शहीद हो गया. उसी के साथ ही भारत चीन के बीच तय हुआ बातचीत का सिलसिला जारी है. अभी भी चीन को समुद्र में घेरेगा भारत. भारत ने चीन को समुद्र में घेरने की तैयारी पूरी कर ली है. भारत ने समुद्र में नौसेना के युद्धाभ्यास मालाबार ड्रिल के लिए इस बार ऑस्ट्रेलिया को भी बुलाने का प्लान किया है. चीन को झटका, बीच रास्ते में फेल हुआ रॉकेट. ये भी एक खबर है. ओली को मिला चौथा जीवन दान. इस्तीफे के जबरदस्त दबाव में घिरे नेपाल के प्रधानमंत्री को एक और जीवन दान मिल गया है. ओली के राजनीतिक भविष्य को लेकर सत्तारूढ़ नेपाल कम्युनिस्ट पार्टी जो है उसकी 45 संसदीय स्टैंडिंग कमेटी को शुक्रवार को होने वाली बैठक देश में बाढ़ की वजह से उसका हवाला देते हुए एक हफ्ते के लिए और टल गई है. रीवा में एशिया का सबसे बड़ा सोलर प्लांट शुरू. दिल्ली मेट्रो को भी मिलेगी बिजली. और इसके अलावा कुछ और भी बड़ी खबरें हैं. एनकाउंटर जो हुआ था कल विकास दुबे का, उससे जुड़ी हुई, और यहां पर जो हेडलाइन मिली है आज इस स्टोरी को, वो ये है, एनकाउंटर का विकास. कानपुर में 8 पुलिस वालों की हत्या का मास्टरमाइंड बताया जा रहा दुबे ढेर. दावा, गाड़ी पलटी, छीनी पिस्टल और फिर मुठभेड़ यानी कि एनकाउंटर भी हुआ. और यहां पर पूरा हर वक्त क्या क्या हुआ उसकी पूरी डिटेल भी है. कोर्ट व्हाट्सएप और ईमेल से भेज सकेगा समन. चेक की वैधता बढ़ेगी. ये भी इंटरेस्टिंग खबर है. सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने आरबीआई के चेक वैलिडिटी की अवधि बढ़ाने को भी अनुमति दे दी है. कोर्ट ने माना कि लॉकडाउन में इस पर भी असर पड़ा है. हालांकि पिछली सुनवाई के दौरान सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कहा था कि इस मामले में वे दखल नहीं देंगे. एम्स की 10वीं मंजिल से कूदे डॉक्टर, हुई मौत. और आखिरी में मई में कुछ बड़ा औद्योगिक उत्पादन यानी कि इंडस्ट्रियल आउटपुट थोड़ा सा बड़ा है, लेकिन अभी भी वो नेगेटिव टेरिटरी में है यानी कि माइनस में ही है. Let's now move on and talk about the Economic Times this morning, the pink paper, and let's see what's making headlines as far as the world of business and economy is concerned. Firstly, fear of containment zone proliferation, localized lockdowns, nationwide implications. From today onwards, a couple of states are likely to impose strict lockdown, and this is something that the story is reflecting. Mini lockdowns give a jolt to businesses undergoing recovery as COVID cases surge. Localized shutdown necessitated by COVID-19 outbreaks in clusters across the country are taking a toll on consumer goods, automobile and e-commerce companies. This comes as business is in the process of reviving starting after the nationwide lockdown was imposed on March 25, was eased in stages. Most sectors that have been hit so far because of this are consumer goods, auto, e-commerce, and roadblock to recovery. Complete lockdown for 7 to 10 days is being seen in West Bengal, Assam, Bihar, Pune, Pimpri Chinchwad in Maharashtra, and 3-day lockdown is going to begin in Uttar Pradesh from 10 p.m. July 10th. So it started last night and it is going to continue over the weekend. Companies say scattered and temporary lockdowns are impacting the recovery. It has a knock-on effect, disrupting networks nationwide. Factories and warehouses closed, supplies and manpower impacted. So that's about the lockdown that's happening. Different states, different curbs. India, like many other countries battling COVID, has transmitted from a national lockdown to local curbs. As of July 9, roughly 450 million people are under lockdown. Curbs imposed are differ across states and within states as well. IIP contraction rate slows in May. Government withholds the headline figure. Textile industry is seeking a loan rejig. Up to 50% fall in demand seen only in FY21. No curbs on work from home for software units in tech parks. That's another story. Blanket debt relief not needed after August. State Bank of India Chairman Rajneesh Kumar said across the board relief on repayment of loans is not needed beyond August. He thinks that perhaps the situation has started getting better. Kotak Bank may change loan rules. That's interesting. Kotak Bank MD Uday Kotak has red flagged vulnerable capital position of Indian banks if COVID-induced slump leads to surge in NPAs. He said bank will decline loans to companies with high operating costs. So banks could become, at least Kotak Bank could become a little selective in lending. Southern states take key steps for COVID funerals, protocols in place, separate burial grounds planned for bodies of COVID-19 patients. Then body armor for security personnel on China border. ITBP will don same gear as CRPF used to fend off stone pelters in Kashmir Valley. So a lot of changes are happening there. Galwan, Gogra cleared, pullback at Hot Springs. And here Vodafone Idea makes NCD payments of 2,900 crore. And lastly, before we move on, now a debate has started over coronavirus again, whether it is airborne or not. So is COVID airborne? Can asymptomatic people be spreaders? It is a very interesting analysis that the Economic Times this morning has done. The World Health Organization has issued a detailed note on airborne transmission of COVID-19. This followed a letter from 239 scientists to the WHO asking it to declare that airborne transmission is possible. After examining available evidence, the WHO has concluded that the primary mode of transmission is through droplets from symptomatic people. It also deliberated whether asymptomatic infected persons can spread the disease. And here's what WHO has to say. Airborne transmission implies spread of an infectious agent through micro droplets or aerosols that remain suspended in the air. So here you can see how they have done this analysis. While these issues are resolved, WHO says need to continue with prevention methods like washing hands, physical distancing and wearing masks in crowded places. So these are the three things we have to follow religiously. So that's the word coming from the WHO. Let's now move on and be more city specific. My colleague Sharon this morning is joining us from the national capital. Sharon, good morning. So on the front page, the Delhi edition of the Times of India is reporting that change in city home isolation norms are likely. What kind of changes are we looking at?
Well, Hina, yes, I couldn't hear the last part of your question, but yes, the revision, the Home Ministry has in fact decided to revise the existing home isolation guideline. Now, remember the fatality rate in the national capital is about 3%, which is more than the national average, which stands at 2.75. So in order to bring down the mortality rate, this is something that is being planned by the Union Home Ministry, that people who are under home isolation, if they are in fact feeling that their oxygen level of saturation is below the standard normal level, that is about 95% to 100%. If that is below, then they have to in fact call the home isolation call center, and they will be immediately and as mandatory, which will in fact be enforced in coming days. They will be shifted to the COVID centers, and proper monitoring will be done by the medical staff over there. Not just the oxygen level saturation going below. But even when a patient, he or she is complaining that their temperature has in fact is more than 100 degree Fahrenheit, then also the call has to be made to the call center, and accordingly arrangements will be done where the patient will in fact be shifted to the COVID center or the hospital. Now this is being done because there has been a number of cases where immediate hospital care has not reached the patients, and in order to delay this is the reason why the Union Home Ministry has decided that they in fact will be revising the existing home isolation guideline, and accordingly they will make it mandatory for the home isolation patients to be shifted if their condition gets worse.
All right. Thank you very much, Sharon, for the moment, for joining us with all of those details. Let's now move on and get our viewers the latest as far as the Kolkata edition of the Times of India is concerned. My colleague Shreyasi this morning is joining us on the broadcast. Good morning. So the big story is that Kolkata's private hospitals will now increase COVID beds, and this only after the government asked them to do so.
Well, that's right, Hina. Every day there is an increase in the number of COVID cases here in the state. We have crossed the 1,000 mark yesterday, and it's only been progressing from there on. There has been no decrease in the number of cases in this entire month and the previous month. So the government hospitals have also been ramped up with more number of beds and more facilities being opened up as dedicated COVID hospitals. Along with that, even private hospitals have now joined in, where they will be opening up more units for treatment of COVID positive patients in the state to only cater to the surge in the number of positive cases that are being reported each day.
All right. Thank you very much, Shreyasi, for the moment, for joining us with all of those details. Let's now move on and talk about the Mumbai edition of the Times of India. And here the big story is one about how Maharashtra's ICSE success rate at 99.9% may affect junior college admissions. MMRDA spent about 53 crore rupees on BKC COVID Center. That's another story. Arunil, my colleague, is joining us on the broadcast this morning. Arunil, good morning. But the most important story that the Mumbai edition of Times of India has reported is that Dharavi broke virus chain, says WHO in the briefing.
Well, that is a huge boost coming for the BMC and the Maharashtra government. Hina, if you look at it, in the month of June only, the curve in Dharavi, which was thought to be the biggest challenge across the entire country, to an extent it has flattened in the month of June itself. The average number of cases reported in Dharavi in June was around 18. And now the number of cases is even more or less. Yesterday, 12 cases were reported in Dharavi. Now, why Dharavi was a Herculean challenge was because around 8 lakh people stayed in Dharavi in extremely pitiable conditions, and following all the traditional methods of social isolation as well as hygiene was a concern in Dharavi. But the way BMC tackled it, really it is applaudable. But there are concerns in other slum pockets in the city of Mumbai, mainly Govandi and Malwani. The cases are coming up in these slum pockets. So whether similar kind of measures will be implemented in these slum pockets, that needs to be seen. But yes, this comment from the WHO chief comes as a major boost for the work of BMC and the Maharashtra government, especially in the Dharavi area.
Thank you very much, Arunil, for the moment, for joining us with all of those details. Let's now move on and talk about what's happening in Karnataka via the Bengaluru edition of the Times of India. And here, it's the state of Karnataka that has outperformed the entire country. Over 99% kids pass ICSE and ISC exams. They put up a stellar show despite all the odds that were there. Apart from this, another important story is about coronavirus. Staff test positive. B.S. Yediyurappa, the Chief Minister, will be working from home. Karnataka government says exams only for final year of undergraduates and postgraduates. Others will be rated on last year's marks. That's another important story. COVID death rate in 30 states and union territories is below the national average. That's also Bengaluru edition has reported. My colleague Imran is joining us on the broadcast. Imran, good morning. Girl washed away in Belandur drain. Give us more details.
Well, it's a shocking story coming amidst the corona pandemic that a 6-year-old girl washed away near Marathahalli, and her parents work in the nearby apartments as how one is houseman and again watchkeeper. Yesterday afternoon she was playing with her friends, and while chasing a boy during a game, she slipped and fell in the stormwater drain. The kids alerted the parents, there was the father himself tried to search the girl for almost an hour. Then he called the help from the cops. But 20 to 25 team of rescuers came to the drain, and they tried to look for her till late in the night. As we called off the search late in the night, they start search again today morning. But chances look very bleak. But this is another shocking and sad story coming from Bangalore today morning.
All right. Thank you very much, Imran, for the moment, for joining us with all of those details. Moving on now to the Chennai edition of the Times of India. And here the big story is there's an update firstly about what had happened in Kerala. Gold smuggling, bigger plot to fund terrorism, says NIA, invokes UAPA. That's a big update here. Selu Raju, third minister in Tamil Nadu to test positive for coronavirus. That's another important update. No entrance test for VIT, SRI. MIST admissions. That's another update. And for this, Shilpa, my colleague, is joining us on the broadcast. Shilpa, how do we see this news? Class 12 marks only will be used for admissions.
Well, this is a big development, Hina, because VIT and SRM are two colleges in Chennai where a lot of people, a lot of students, apply for engineering admissions. So for that reason, these two colleges have now said that, they will be not conducting their usual entrance examination. Instead, they will be using the board examination marks for the 12th standard students. And Vellore Institute of Technology yesterday had given out a statement saying that it is impossible for them to conduct the VIT EEE examinations across locations in the country. At least 2 lakh students were supposed to take this exam, but due to the prevailing conditions, they're unable to do that. So for that reason, the 12th standard marks will be taken into consideration, and if the student has appeared for JEE examination, even that will be given weightage, is what the VITE college administration is saying at this point in time.
All right, Shilpa, thank you very much for the moment, for joining us with all of those details. Let's quickly move on and tell our viewers what's making headlines around the world. Security risk. Amazon tells staff to delete TikTok from their phones. China warns of pneumonia worse than COVID in Kazakhstan. PIO doctor behind US first double lung transplant saves patient on life support for about 100 days. China finds virus in shrimp shipment. So a lot of developments again taking place in China. And lastly, Notre Dame to be rebuilt without modern touches. That's another update. Moving on now to the world of sports. My colleague Karishma this morning is joining us on the broadcast. Karishma, good morning. So what do you have for us as far as the world of sports today is concerned?
Good morning, Hina. Well, what the Times of India is reporting is firstly on the England versus West Indies match, where West Indies have taken a lead over England. That match is going to continue. The other news that Times of India is reporting is the fact that boxers had reached NIS Patiala for their national camp, and they were in a mandatory quarantine. But some of the Olympic-bound boxers have broken the quarantine rules, and now they are under investigation by the Sports Authority of India, Hina.
All right. Thank you very much, Karishma, for the moment, for joining us with all of those details. With this, it's a wrap. Thank you very much for staying with us here on the Newspaper Show.